Well, that's cool. I see you, Greg. How are things, man?
Outstanding, Ash. How are you today?
That's pretty good. Just like a farmer outstanding in your field, right?
Outstanding. Outstanding. Absolutely. Yeah.
What I like about you in the lumber industry, Greg, you're Google smart. It means you don't have to Google to get a freaking idea on stuff, man. You just have it in your head.
I
Let me
just
just.
tap it. I just tap into the Greg 9000.
That's it, man.
Let's fire it up.
Let's get Bat on. We launched her a little bit early, and we're waiting for the Beamer to get in here and talk about some things. Looks like you're all ready for in a nice location there. Cheers.
Strapped in.
Yeah.
Yep. Strapped in, ready to go.
Steve is on from South Buffalo. Good to see you, Steve. So we'll just wait for Matt. Crazy market so far in lumber. So welcome to This Week in Lumber with Greg Riley, soon to be Matt Beamer. Greg with Sitka USA, Matt Beamer with Hampton Lumber Sales out of Portland, Oregon. Greg, we will not disclose your location. So
Thank you. Yeah.
It's
it's a secret. It's top secret black site. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good place to be. So we are Materials Exchange, mxlumber.com. We are making lumber buying and selling digitally, B2B, transparent. Come on, get on for free. Number one in.
Well, Ash, a lot of people, they ask me, they go, oh, how is that thing, Materials Exchange? And I always tell them, I said, you know what, change is hard, and a lot of people, find all the reasons why they can't do it. What I like most about Materials Exchange is my opportunity to expand my customer base. You guys have such a broad reach now that I'm able to get my product out to people that, personally, I don't have time to go out and do that. But with Materials Exchange, I'm able to broaden my universe substantially, which is really excellent.
Yeah, Greg, you've been a great supporter for a long time, and it's amazing when we talk about how far we ship some of the stuff when you're selling out of ports or other places to new customers. And these are relationships that, quite honestly, you don't have time to make, right? You have a big customer base you support right now, so that's really good. So let's jump into it. Hopefully, Matt gets on during this and talk a little bit about what went on this week in lumber. So first thing we could talk about, and I think it's the first thing everybody looks at is, oh gosh, Greg, lumber futures have been down so many days in a row. And what's your response to me always, what that means? That lumber is for.
Oh, yeah. That's right. So March futures reflects what the lumber's for mid-late March shipment. Unless I'm missing something, it is still January. That having been said, Ash, it's amazing when I look at when I look at the market. We had a discussion. We were back in August, actually September, really, but September and October, and futures was $150, $200 over the cash market, and cash wasn't doing that much.
Right.
We talked about how great that basis opportunity was, and there's some people in the marketplace that were able to take advantage of that. And to that end, you think about what's transpired since then. We were in the 500s, 500s and 600s in futures back then, and the 400s in cash. We fast forward a few months here, and now we're $1,200 cash, and the futures is $1,000. Now we're a $200. Now we're a $200 discount. So, we work for a guy. We work for a guy who, always said one thing: futures leads cash.
Right.
So, and futures leads cash. You buy what's cheap and you sell what's expensive. So what the futures market is telling you to do right now is sell your cash and sell product forward for March, April shipment, And I mean, we can go out, I can go out today and sell people, $100 or more,
Yeah.
depending on the item, below today's cash market for that deferred shipment.
So let's talk a little bit about the different parts of the market, because we're seeing a lot of unique shipments all over still. So one thing we know is there's still good outtake. The other thing we know is we finally got winter in parts of the country, right? I mean, to be expected. I mean, it was -5 driving in today here. That's a little hard to build in some cases, but it slows things down a bit. A little bit of weather across the South, but obviously the South is still busy. Texas is still pulling a lot of wood. Oklahoma is pulling a lot of wood. We moved stuff out of Massachusetts to Florida today on OSB. We've moved stuff all over, and people want it prompt. And I think you had a good insight into it last week when you said the divergence between what people are paying for prompt wood versus wood a long ways out, right?
Yep, no question about it.
Yeah. So if you have a load that you can ship and you say tomorrow's probably a little hard, right? Because I don't know if there's any tomorrow wood right now on the logistical side with everything, right? Or getting we'll hold that thought, but there's a premium to wood that's on the ground, right? So the other thing,
like what prompt shipment means is, I mean, with the transportation issues, I mean, wood that's on the ground is probably 10 days to 2 weeks or more out, depending on where it's going to and from.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about it. I mean, like I said, prompt wood on the ground is even hard for people to get. And as you said, now you have to make appointments at reloads. So even if you sold something prompt, sometimes some of these reloads, you can't get it until next Tuesday, next Wednesday, right?
I'm assuming that, distribution centers that own their own trucks are probably doing a really great business these days with the fill-in buying. I mean, one of the questions that I had to some market participants the last few days is how much double and triple buying do you think there's been because of logistics issues? And it was a hem and a haw, and well, there's probably some, and but it's so hard to quantify that.
Yeah, so let's go back and just think about where we're sitting here, end of January. We go back to the market we had the beginning of last year. I should say, no, going into the second quarter. I get a feeling, but I could be wrong. I don't know, at least the retail level, if there's as much inventory built as was then. Could I be wrong on that, do you think? I could be wrong, because maybe, I mean, I don't know.
It's so hard to gauge that because of how many days of inventory depends on what is that daily outtake, and there's that constant ebb and flow. I mean, the one thing I'd say is it's been well advertised that the market's substantially better since we had the rail issue in November in British Columbia. I see the market's been hard buying for 2 months. So, I suspect there's a pretty decent amount of inventory in the pipeline. Now, we're experiencing some issues now where, there's production because of weather. Like you said, it's -5 there. A guy said, oh, it's minus 47 degrees Celsius at the mill. What does
that mean?
And COVID. Yeah, I don't know if you heard about it, but apparently it's a big deal, and it is impacting production, reloads, ports, truckers. Not really affecting builders and retail yards, from what I can see. They seem to be immune to it, which is, I mean, really great. I suspect that if the market does correct substantially over the next 30 to 45 days, that's when there'll be an issue with COVID at the builders and the yards. Okay. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, that makes sense. So, one of our big mills up in the Northeast, they can't get trucks across the border as much now because it's hard to get drivers that want to come back across with all those, at least from what I heard, with the COVID protocols, right? So there's just little bitty bumps and grinds in the road. Steve Coppola.
Supply chain issues will be ongoing.
So this is good getting into your wheelhouse of kind of Fed watching. Steve Coppola said Fed commentary coming up shortly today. Watching close, need to take into consideration when formulating short and midterm strategies.
I mean, the Fed's so far behind the curve right now that, I mean, they should have stopped buying bonds middle of last year. They should already have have increased interest rates. I mean, the fact that we still have zero interest rates, given the inflation and everything that's going on is absolutely crazy. So, I mean, hey, listen, the reality is we're going to have less fiscal stimulus going forward, and we're going to have tighter, while by no stretch of the imagination, it'll take a long time before you could construe anything that the Fed does as tight, but it will be tighter. So, those are going to be headwinds for housing.
For certain. So this sell-off we've had in the futures market, and again I noticed it in the cash market starting. So we had some Southern Pine start to show up. We had I can always watch the buyers logging in and the sellers logging in. The sellers are increasing, right? And it just makes common sense, right? I mean, that's how it should work.
Because you know why that is, Ashley? So, one of the things that I saw like is that last week and the week before, guys weren't offering a lot of lumber. They didn't have much, because when the prices are going up the way they were, it doesn't matter how much lumber you have, you don't have enough.
Right.
Now that the board is down and there's softness in the cash market, well, one of my questions is, hey, when you look at the market participants, how much wood do people really own? And I suspect that there's some people, some places that probably have a little more than they would like to, because when the market goes down, and this is a market, if futures is down $300 in a week, we got some cash items that are already trading $100 or more off from last week's price. When the market falls, it doesn't matter how much lumber you have. You probably have too much.
Right. Matt and Judy just put some stuff up here. So 50,000 and growing truck convoy headed towards Ottawa for anti-vaccine mandate rally.
There you go. Yeah. Do we want to go? Do I want to go there, Ash? The right to choose.
Well, so anybody that has loads ready to go in Ottawa may have some good some prompt stuff there.
That's it. Lots of outbound trucks from Ottawa.
No, that's good communication. Thanks, Judy and Matt. Appreciate that. Jack Fitzpatrick, hey, from Chicago. Let's see here. Billy G is on. Hey, Billy, how are you? Brent Rowan, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Matthew Kenyon, Belleville, Ontario. Good to see all you guys on here. Hey, make sure you sign up on our Materials Exchange, or if you're watching on YouTube, sign up on YouTube. Would love to have you as a user.
What happened to Matt? Matt said he was really busy selling, so he just must be macking it with orders today, huh, Matt?
Yeah, you never know. Matt's got a bunch of stuff going. So, I mean, one of the interesting things Matt and I were talking about the other day was, he had a lot of lumber since Thanksgiving, and he's sold a lot of lumber since Thanksgiving too. Buddy Gerhardt, good to see you from Lincoln, Nebraska. Thank you for showing up.
Ash, I mean, I was going to say, I told the guy today, I said, my open order book, the business that I have on the books is as big as it ever gets. Some of that is price inflation. I mean, prices are up, 100 to 200% depending on the item. So some of that's price inflation, but I mean, the units, I can just look at the truck booking board and see how many loads there are. And it's busy.
Nicholas Abbott wants to know, Greg Riley, is that a golf glove tan?
No comment.
That's great. So, any thoughts going into the end of the week? How's this thing going to play out? I mean, I still see a lot of good items showing up to sell, and a lot of fluidity, but a lot of good takeout in spots of the country where stuff is shipping around. One thing I wanted to ask about multifamily: where are they at? What are they thinking? What are the multifamily buyers? Are they covered for 3 months? I'm guessing that they probably covered as far out as they could.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of the things that we saw in this price rally. Historically, 2x4 9 foot, when a market really rallies, they're the exceptionally strong item because there's this big push to both cover jobs and invariably there's a number of jobs that are sold that people have to come kind of late and buy in. We didn't see that this rally, and that's mostly I think because, and we talked about this, multifamily guys were very proactive in September, October, November, getting their first quarter plus covered. I've commented about this before. I've got a number of jobs that where the developer rented a warehouse and we've been shipping product for months to cover, in some cases, jobs that are going to run through the first half of the year. We know that reloads all across the Southeast are jam full of lumber for multifamily job sites. So, I would look, one of the things I would look for is if we do get a substantial sell-off, look to see the multifamily guys be the first ones in looking to cover third quarter business. And whatever residual second quarter business hasn't been bought. You and I know we've talked to a couple of multifamily guys that have jobs that are starting in the second quarter, asking us, "What can I do?"
Yeah, gotcha. Matt's just texted me. He said, "I thought it was 12 o'clock. I forgot to say it was 12 o'clock Central Time." So we'll see if he can. We'll see if we can sign in.
It's the same time every week.
Yeah. I'm not going to give him a hard time. He shows up. He shows up pretty good usually. So
yeah, no worries there. Well, Ash, you want to shut it down? Have a quick show today, and
well, let's see if Matt
back when we get Matt on, or is Matt going to try and come on now?
We'll see if Matt circles into here. He may come in a second here, and see what we can. Oh, the Russian bots showed up. There's Bipa Kamachoba. VUR.FYI.
Tell Matt to come on right now because I want to get his perspective. I haven't talked to him yet.
Hold on a second. Let me give him a call and see where he's at here. You can run the show for a second.
Ooh, wow. That's scary.
No, you're good. You're good. We're waiting. We want your commentary. You're good to go, man. Come on in. No embarrassment at all, brother. Bye. All right. He's coming on. So we're going to be blessed with the Godfather himself. What movie was that from? Old
Say
School.
what? That's old school. That's from Old School.
So he's coming on here in a second. That'll be great. Bob, I think it's Tico PS2 actually instead of PS1. Bob put what the grade stamp was on the OSB. I think it's Tico PS2.
So, Ash, do we have any new exciting innovations to talk about? On MX on the platform.
Yeah, we do. We launched our
upgrade. We got some upgrades coming. Some bells and whistles.
Yeah. So a couple good upgrades. This is a great little infomercial between when Matt gets on here. He may be trying to get in. Here he comes. Hey, Matt, what's up, brother?
Hey, can you hear me?
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay. That looks cool. So
you like my man cave, do you?
Yeah, that is a total man cave. There's nothing.
This is my office. This is my new office on top of the.
That's awesome.
The theater.
I see when if you have any stress, you just go back there and bang the drum.
Yeah, there's this is an 8 theater building. It's I don't know how many square feet, but it's like the size of a like a shopping center basically. It's a fairly good sized building, and I'm the only person in the building until about 2:00 in the afternoon.
That is cool. Have you ever
I
gone
can bang
downstairs?
away on the drums as loud as I want, and nobody ever cares. So
Have you ever gone down and just flicked a movie on and watched it yourself in the theater?
no,
Okay.
I don't want to
You
mess
go
with
down,
those.
you don't go down
projectors.
Pee Wee Herman. No Pee
You
Wee
know those
Herman for
digital
you?
projectors cost like $100,000.
I know they're expensive. Hey, real quick, Greg asked if there's anything new on the platform, and then Buddy Gerhardt asked about an Android app. So we launched an Apple app in the App Store. Um, we will launch an Android app in the future, Buddy, but we wanted to make the Apple app kind of get it bulletproof first. Second thing we
So
added
can
was
we log on to that now, Ash?
Cheers,
on
Matt.
Apple?
yeah, you can go into Apple Store, download the Materials Exchange app, and sign in using your password and sign in. If you don't have it, you can just request and I'll get you your password for you. So that was one thing we did. We also are now open 7 days a week on Saturdays and Sundays. Did 9 trades on Saturday and Sunday. No cost to be doing that. It's great opportunity for people outside to be able to use the stuff on a Saturday or Sunday if they want to. So we had some good opportunities there. So that's where we're at right now on some new things. I think you may have froze up a little bit on us, Matt. There he comes back in. There you go. We lost your voice, my friend.
I think my internet dropped here for like 10
There-
seconds. Anyways,
There
I'm
it
back.
is. Yeah, that's it, Greg. That's the App Store. That's the MX app. So, and there's
I mean,
you could,
that's like you guys are that's like legit if you got an app, right?
Yeah, no, that's cool. So we were, Matt, we missed your brother. We wanted to know about your thoughts in the market because you and I kicked some ideas around. Greg and I talked about, obviously futures selling off, and what futures was telling us, but there are still good pockets out there. Greg was saying what his open order file was on unsold wood is pretty low.
Yeah.
And I think you and I kind of had a similar conversation, right?
Am I losing you guys again?
Yeah, a little bit.
kidding me.
A little bit. Can you hear me? That man cave needs to get some high Wi-Fi in there, right? We'll see if he can try it one more time. But pretty good. We got 37 on 38 on LinkedIn, and probably as many on YouTube right now. So that's decent. Nick's going to have to try him again if he signs in. Cool. We'll see. So I think there he is.
He's back.
We'll
He's
try
back.
it one more. We'll try it one more time, Matt. Just real quick, what's your thought on the market in here? He's thinking. All right. Well, look at this.
He's a stone cold killer.
Yeah, no problem. He's having some problems. So what we'll do is, I think we'll end it a little bit early today, and hopefully he'll get his Wi-Fi figured out for next week if that makes sense. So again, come to mxlumber.com, go to the Apple App Store. You can download our app, Materials Exchange. The cool thing about the app, Greg, is you can actually shrink different columns on there by pressing the different buttons in order to make it shrink to fit your screen. As we grow that app and change it, we'll just have an app that is just for Apple. But our developers, I think, did a good job at least getting this out and
Well,
launched.
I mean, how many times have you and I talked, and invariably, there's a bid that's up on something just as soon as I leave the office, and I can't do anything with it. So this is great. I'll get it fired up. If I got any questions, I'll circle back to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Again, everybody, thanks for showing up on LinkedIn and YouTube, and we'll do this again this week in Lumber with Matt Beamer and Greg Riley next week at the same time.
Thanks, Ash. We'll see
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Take care.